Hi guys, I'm Caleb, and I'm writing a book called King Arthur, the Emperor's Son. And this book is obviously about King Arthur, but it's not just about King Arthur in the 6th century who fought the Saxons and the Angles. The primary focus of this book is going to be about a subject which not many people write about. It's the European campaign, first written about in Geoffrey of Monmouth's History of the Kings of Britain. A lot of people write about the King Arthur in the 6th century who fought the Saxons, and that's a very interesting subject, but lots of people have written about that, and I don't think the European campaign has really been talked about very much. I think there's a lot more information, a lot more speculation that could go on about that. I think it's a very interesting subject, so my book is primarily written for that, to present what I think is the truth behind that theory. Because from my reading of Geoffrey of Monmouth's book, from my consideration of the only part of history that we know for sure, what pretty much know for sure what happened and what didn't, it's the Roman era of Britain. Or the pre-Roman era, people say it's fictitious, but we don't actually know how much is true, how much isn't. And the post-Arthurian era, around about the time of Cadwallader and Cadwallon, again, that's not really based on primary sources. So the only part of Britain part of the history of Britain that we know for sure about is the Roman era, because of the mass of contemporary sources and archaeology, which is very clear because of the inscriptions regarding Roman emperors and things like that. So we know for sure pretty much what happened in the Roman era. So that sets the base. That sets the baseline for the standard of accuracy in the history of the kings of Britain. And bearing that in mind, it doesn't work at all. It doesn't fit that Geoffrey of Monmouth would have written this completely fictitious account of a campaign into Europe. It takes up about half of the entire Arthurian section, which is most of the book, or at least half the book. So, considering that, I think there simply must have been some historical reality behind it, however confused or error-ridden it is. And other people have come to the same conclusion, like Geoffrey Ash. He developed a very famous theory called the Riothemus theory. I call it the Riothemus theory, about a person called Riothemus who was a king, possibly in Britain, maybe Brittany, in the 5th century, who went and invaded Gaul. He was asked to go to Gaul by a Roman emperor to fight the Visigoths. That's what Geoffrey Ash thinks originated the legends. I don't. And in my book, I'm going to be, as well as discussing my own theory, I will also beforehand be discussing criticisms of the other theories. And in this series of YouTube videos, I won't present any of my own theory, but I will be presenting the criticisms that I write about in my book. So I hope that you enjoy, and that when my book finally is finished and comes out, you can read it and enjoy it.